Welcome, y'all.
There's sexy Sherri in the house.
Hey, Tammy, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
This is my very first sip of the day of Swear Jar. What are you drinking? Tito's and vodka?
Pretty much at this point. I've been pre-gaming a little bit, so it's going to be a fun show.
Awesome. And who did you bring?
I brought Christina with Southeast Louisiana Project. Christina, tell us a little bit about what you do.
Southeast Louisiana Project.
Accountability. Yeah.
I maybe pre-gamed a little bit.
Did you? Good for you.
Southeast Louisiana Accountability Project. We hold the justice system accountable.
Nice. Oh, can I show this book that you brought for us?
Of course.
Okay. This book is called Dead People, Crazy People, Drugs, and Politicians. Warning, politicians lie, cheat, and steal. The contents of this book are hazardous to their career. So if that is something that you would like to check out, please do. I'm sure you can probably get this on Amazon or
www.terrymking.com or Amazon.
There you go. Check it out.
It's on Kindle.
Thank you for bringing this.
Thank you.
Oh, it's on Kindle for free?
For free?
If you have Kindle.
Like a membership deal?
Yeah.
Like Audible monthly? Yeah, gotcha.
But, you know, he still gets the hit for having it downloaded.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyhow, I met Christina.
Yes.
You know, last time I was on here, we talked about that I had just done a political thing. Well, her group was one of the guest speakers at the state convention this year. And I was like, we have crossed streams with my political job and podcast.
Awesome.
And I loved what they were doing and what they were standing for. So I said, hey,
I
come see us.
appreciate you bringing Christina. Christina, I appreciate you being here.
I am so excited.
Awesome. Okay, well, Sherri's going to tell us a story.
I sure am.
Christina, feel free to interject at any point that you would like, whatever you would like. This is a no holes barred kind of show. You listen to
I'm
it.
an interjector.
You know. Yeah.
Yeah.
No one ever lets me speak on record. So
Well,
this is perfect.
Okay. All right, Sherri. You ready?
I am ready. Did we have anything we needed to come out of the gate with?
I don't think so. I don't have anything this week.
Okay.
All right.
Wonderful. All right. So we're going to go over to the east side of the country, and we're not going to very far back. We're going to Chesterfield County, Virginia.
Chesterfield County.
Mm-hmm. And on October 25th of 2015, so 9 years ago.
That's not far.
It's a blip.
When you're my age, that's not too long ago.
Right. And anybody that should be listening to us with all the cuss words, you should totally remember 2015.
Yes, absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah, you should be old enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a remember.
Yeah.
A year to remember for me.
So it was a Saturday, and Melody Clavier, if it was in Louisiana, we'd call it Clavier, was visiting her family. She had left the night before, had kissed her husband and her 4 kids goodbye, headed off to go visit her family in Delaware for her uncle's retirement party.
Cool.
Okay, so her husband, Nick, was in charge of the couple's 4 kids. The oldest of them was 9.
He had his hands full.
So he had his hands full. And I mean, my husband, Poppy, he would have handled 4 kids just fine. Your Harold would have taken care of 4 kids. But a lot of men would have said, no effing
not doing
way.
it.
Nuh-uh.
4 kids under 9.
No way.
9 and under. No.
Okay, so typical for Nick, he had a fun day planned for dad time. He was taking the kids fishing, so he loads up the 4 kids into his truck.
That is the most horrible day ever.
I love my kids. I was
fishing.
good with them. I love fishing, but I would not take 4 of them fishing at a time.
Little ones.
Right.
Never.
Once my kids outnumbered the hands I had,
Yeah.
that was all that could go fishing with me.
Yes.
He was willing to take 4 kids on a boat on a river.
He's a good guy.
He's a great guy. He takes these 4 kids fishing. He loads them up. And 9-year-old Michaela is sitting in the passenger seat. The 3 bebés are sitting in the back seat. A couple of them are car seat age.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so the car is going down this street called Hull Street, the 8700th block. And I'm going to tell you Michaela's recollections.
Okay.
I remember that we were driving down the road and we were listening to music and we were all talking. And then I heard a loud bang. And she said, I looked over and I saw my dad bleeding and blood was going everywhere. And because his foot was on the accelerator, he was kind of leaned over the steering wheel and it was not something very pleasant. So the truck runs off the road.
She's very, for 9, she has a very big vocabulary.
Yes,
Yeah.
she does. She is awesome.
Accelerator? I didn't know what that was when I was 9 years old.
Absolutely. So the truck runs off the road and goes into this huge field with her dad slumped over and bleeding on the steering wheel.
I'm assuming it stops in the field.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
After it hits a tree.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, with 4 babies
Yes.
inside. So Michaela gets out and gets her siblings out and she runs through a church that's through the woods to get help. And they call
That's a
the
smart
cops.
9-year-old.
I know. How
I could not
brave.
imagine.
I thought you were going to, at the beginning of the story, I thought something was going to happen to the mom.
I know.
That's what I thought. I'm still sitting here thinking,
like,
what's her name again? Melody.
Melanie or Melody?
Melody?
Melody is still stays important.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
So the original officers call this a suicide. Even
What?
though this child, Michaela, runs to that church and says, somebody shot my dad, get us help.
She hears a bang and then there's blood.
Yes.
I mean,
Why would he shoot himself driving the car?
She didn't see the moment that the gun was fired, but she saw the gun coming back in the window of the vehicle beside them.
were they stopped at a light or
Yeah.
something?
No, they're driving down the highway.
What?
Okay. I have lots of questions that I'm sure you're going to answer by the time this story's
I'll
over.
answer some.
Okay.
Okay.
Hopefully, I'll answer most.
So the car was moving when the gun came into the car.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So this car is going, and it's going at a good rate of speed.
Yeah.
This is a highway.
Somebody's riding alongside them and
We are
close
just
enough to have a gun in the window.
thankful that these babies
Yes.
lived through that car.
Yes. And none of them
Okay.
got shot
Mm-hmm.
that close.
So the original officers called this a suicide.
Why? Are you going to tell us? Or is
My opinion is I think it was lazy.
it okay? I'm okay with that opinion.
Yeah. No perpetrator, no investigation needed. He did it himself.
Gun in the vehicle.
Yeah, there was a gun in the vehicle, but this county is very much like an Ascension Parish or a Livingston Parish. It's only like 150 miles, 100 miles from the coast.
You can
There's-
have a gun in your car.
Mm-hmm.
People hunt fish. I mean, they were going
Yeah,
fishing.
right.
I would not go fishing without a gun.
You
Alligators,
wouldn't go
water
fishing without a
moccasins.
gun?
No, alligators, water moccasins.
Let me just say, I wouldn't go fishing.
I've never brought a gun fishing, and I love fishing, but I'm wondering how safe
Yeah, I
fishing
normally
is.
have a sidearm when I go fishing because of
She normally has a sidearm with her when she's at Walmart.
she's not wrong.
As long as you're not bringing it into church, we're good.
I bring it to church too. So,
She's a very open church. She goes to a very open, accepting church.
well, the thing is that people come into churches to blow them
Yeah.
up
Yes,
whenever
that's
their
true.
wives
Yes.
don't stay in line and they start going to church and they say, I'm going to leave you because you're doing drugs and
Yeah.
sleeping with hookers.
Yeah.
Those same guys come to a church to blow it up.
There.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
So there was a gun in the car.
gun in the car.
They just automatically assumed suicide.
They automatically assume suicide.
That would have to be a pretty close gunshot and blood on the gun or some. I mean,
There would be
Well, there was definitely blood on the
Foot?
gun because it was in the floorboard under his feet. And he was bleeding, obviously profusely with a gunshot to the temple. The next day, 32-year-old Nick is pronounced dead. They kept him on life support long enough for his wife to get to him to say goodbye.
Melody.
Yeah, Melody, sweet Melody.
Oh my gosh. I just had a thought.
Okay, what you thought?
I don't confirm her.
I'm not.
She had him killed. Okay. But I don't think she would do it with her babies in the car. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
So poor Nick, husband of the year, with all of his kids, died the next day.
in a car that could have killed his kids.
Yeah.
Police rule this self-inflicted and
So
still
stupid.
hint at suicide, but rule it an accident that his own gun discharged.
That's
Wait. Where was his bullet hole again?
in his temple. In his temple. He just had it in the visor.
That don't sound lazy.
In
That
his-
sounds corrupt.
Left temple.
Is he left-handed?
No.
Okay.
So he was driving with his right.
He was
hand,
driving
though,
with his
because
right
he's
hand.
right-handed.
He's got his arm on the window. He's heading down, going to have a happy day with his 4 kids. And he decides to pick up a gun and shoot himself in the left temple.
No.
None of us are buying this shit.
Car
As-
was packed for fishing?
Yes.
No
yeah,
way.
they were absolutely going fishing.
No way.
And as of this kind of conclusion, somehow his gun on the left side of his body up high in a vehicle accidentally discharged
Mhm.
because of his own carelessness and shot him in the left temple.
No way.
And y'all, if you're not
Did his wife argue this?
familiar with guns, guns only shoot in a straight line.
They also
So did
They don't
it
jump
go-
up.
they also don't go off. Just
They don't.
Would it have gone through his temple straight up?
Okay. And his daughter is saying, somebody shot my dad.
right.
Okay. So, yeah, none of this is working for Nick's family.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Good.
To believe that your husband or your child or your brother or your friend or your sister or something has committed suicide is always hard to accept.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, as I'm sure you've come across this, where family, Christina, has come to slap and said, hey, I know my person didn't commit suicide. Everybody, I've had a suicide.
We have a case like that right now.
Yeah, I've had a suicide of my of somebody in my family, and in the support groups, it's always nobody can believe they did it. And the more religious you are, the less you can believe they did it.
Yeah.
Right.
And so sometimes they're not listened to even with really good reason.
Yeah.
These people have really good reason. And so it's hard to swallow, but then to accept that, oh, my husband who loved his children more than anything, my husband who was willing not only to watch 4 kids while I went off and visited family and went to a party, but was willing to take them fishing,
Yeah.
put our 4 children in
No way.
severe danger to
No way.
kill himself or accidentally discharge his gun
No.
while driving with my 4 kids at a significant rate of speed.
We're all calling bullshit on this.
Everybody should call bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, just the trauma of seeing that would have been bad enough.
Yeah.
But the fact that your kids could die from this moment.
Mm-hmm.
No, he wasn't going to do that. Nobody that ever met him bought this story.
Right.
Okay. Eventually, you know, because like I said, they were leaning toward a suicide at the Chesterfield County Police Department, which I don't get their whole designation. Everything over on that East Coast like that is very much British rule.
Okay.
And we are so Napoleonic
Yes.
in our state.
Yes.
I don't get why there's a Chesterfield County Police Department. Here, your county is a sheriff, your cities or towns are the police department.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure
Someone can write us and tell us.
somebody will tell us, but I don't get it. Anyhow, so they changed it to an accident and that his own gun went off and shot him. Well, Melody keeps working on this because she's like,
Good.
oh, hell no. My husband didn't do this. He wasn't responsible for this. He is.
And you know she's talked to, what was the little girl's name? Michaela?
Michaela.
You know
yeah.
she's talked to her daughter outside of this event. Oh, like probably every day. Tell me again
Abso-freaking-lutely.
what happened. Tell
And
me
if her
again.
statement came like so close to it happening, which I'm sure it did,
Yeah.
that is,
Yeah.
that's a very
She
credible
went
statement.
running through the woods to the church screaming, somebody shot my dad. Please
Yeah.
help us.
Yeah.
That is as credible as you can freaking get.
Yeah, I agree.
And
So how did
Anyhow.
Melody, was she trying to get the police department?
She was trying to get the police department on it. She was hiring outside investigators.
Okay.
her dad, Nathan, who, God love him for supporting his daughter like this, reached out to the CBS affiliate in Richmond, Virginia, because they're, not too far from Richmond.
Yeah.
And gets News 6 involved. And this woman, Laura French, who is, in my opinion, the hero of this story.
Okay. She's a reporter, a news
She is
journalist.
a reporter.
Okay.
And she does a thing called Problem Solver. That's a segment on their show, on the news show, where it's like we have Two on Your Side in Baton Rouge, and where people can call and say, I have a problem. And normally the problem is like,
my garbage isn't getting picked up every week.
Exactly.
Yes, me. I did Two on Your Side for that. Yeah.
Awesome.
I changed garbage companies. That's
a good quick.
That was fixed.
But, I have a sinkhole in my backyard that the city caused and they're not fixing it. Those kind of things.
It's not murder.
She gets called for this. She gets called for murder. And at first she kind of like, I'm not going to deal with this.
I got to get both sides of the story here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But she does get involved. And God love her. So she's a bulldog, and not only, whenever she starts getting into the story, she discovers that not only did the witness, Michaela, never change her story.
Right.
She could draw the vehicle that pulled up alongside and that she saw the gun coming back into. I mean, she knew who shot at her father.
Yeah.
Okay. And we learn later that the bullet that went into Nick could not have come from Nick's gun.
Thank you.
And it's still a suicide or accident.
Yeah. He had a 380, and the gun that went into his head was from a 357. And these sound like they might be close, but they're not.
No.
I mean,
there are very, very few guns where you can interchange bullets.
Yay.
Yeah. And even after this, Chesterfield County Police Department put out a statement. And y'all, this is going to put your knickers in a twist. The Chesterfield County Police Department, this is their statement.
Okay.
I'm reading it word for word.
Okay.
That they had the balls.
Quote.
To put out.
All right.
For all press. The Chesterfield County's Police Department has met with the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner multiple times and received all of the office's findings regarding this case. Given the totality of circumstances, the Chesterfield County's Police Department does not believe that Mr. Clavier died as a result of a homicide. The police department has cleared this death investigation as an accidental death. And in any investigation, we investigate any new leads or tips that come in.
Bullshit.
You don't even need a new tip.
Bullshit. The medical
You
examiner
don't need a new tip.
told him it wasn't the same gun.
The
basically.
medical examiner told him
Here's
it
the
wasn't
bullet,
the same gun.
Not his. It won't fit in his gun even.
This law enforcement agent, this reporter went and hired somebody and said, this won't fit.
Yeah.
The wife had already hired somebody that said, this won't fit.
So.
Okay, and this is Virginia. This is not like we're talking about
St. Tammany.
some place that does not understand firearms.
Sorry.
Immediately, every freaking I get it. We're gonna get into that.
Yeah. Okay.
People in Virginia know guns.
Yeah. Like people in Louisiana do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we know, like, if you don't know guns, this is like putting the wrong drill bit in or anything else. It will not work. It is not what that tool was created to use. Yeah. It's like trying metric drill bits on.
It's like putting diesel in a gas car.
There you go.
That's a better idea. Yeah.
Perfect.
It won't work. If you manage to get something to fit, you would have an explosion within the firearm in most cases.
Yeah.
And in this case, it literally won't fit. It will not fit in the clip. It will not fit in the chamber. It cannot be fired.
I don't have much faith in this police department. I'm trying.
And what was the name of the police department again?
Chesterfield
County Police Department, which I still don't get how that lines up, but
this happened.
Sometimes I'm stupid and I hang up on things.
This happened in 2015. So whoever worked this case, maybe they've retired and moved on. Let's just be optimistic.
Okay, law enforcement was trying to say that he picked up a modified bullet at the gun range. And that was how he had an impossible bullet fit into the gun.
This is irritating me.
It don't work like that.
It wasn't for that type of gun.
No.
So it wouldn't work.
No.
It doesn't matter. I don't care because we've made bullets. We've reloaded.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. That's not how bullets work.
No.
Did they have him pick up a bullet on camera at a gun range?
No, they did not. They just had the fact that he goes to gun ranges from time to time. Okay, so later we find out that the people in the lab were going home at night crying because they knew this was murder, but that the Chesterfield County Police Department would not change their minds, and the lab workers were bound contractually and ethically to not disclose what they knew.
But ethically also.
But couldn't you be a whistleblower?
Whenever you sign these things, you cannot always...
The confidentiality.
Yeah, you cannot always state what you know.
Unless you do what that book tells you to do.
Oh,
exactly.
Read the book.
Read the book.
Seriously.
Okay. But finally, they changed
good.
the case from cleared to pending in May of 2016. So we're talking 18 months. They've gone around with...
You're literally ripping my fingernails out right now. Like, I'm just so...
Yeah.
This is so... Okay.
Okay, so Michaela,
I hope this is solved. I know this is solved.
Yeah.
Okay.
That has to be traumatic for the girl, not only to see her dad's death, but to be pretty much told that no one believes her for 18 months.
Yeah.
No one wants to hear you. No one believes you. And your dad was a bad dad.
Probably trying
That's
to
what
tell
they've
her,
been
no,
telling her.
this is what really happened.
Yes.
Exactly. And that just grinds my grits right there.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a child who's already been through something horrible. And the people that should be taking care of her fucking tell her that she's without. Okay, so Melody, Michaela, and Laura French that I told you about, keep working on the case. Police still believe he shot himself. But relief is on the way. These ladies keep fighting, and the police department gets a new leader.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Dum Dum retired, I guess, or whatever.
I don't know what he did.
Okay.
I didn't even care.
Yes.
As I was looking through this, I was getting so mad.
I'm boiling hot right now. I'm so mad.
I was like, I'm ready to drive back to Virginia and find this mofo and throat punch him and just...
Yeah. Take a magic bullet to his ass.
So we know that one's gone.
So Chief Colonel Jeffrey Katz takes over.
Well, Jeff comes in and saves the day.
Yes. So 2 months after Nick's murder, but 2 years before Jeff comes in, GSR tests show up. There was no GSR in the truck on any child or on Nick.
His hands.
Zero.
Zero. Okay, y'all. We've talked about the fact that maybe I'm a little bit more okay with firearms than most. If I show up to my house and my husband has been target practicing, or if he even shot a snake when I pull up, too soon to the time that I pull up, I can smell.
Yes.
You've smelled it. You come outside, you smell GSR. Those of you who maybe haven't fired firearms, but you've done fireworks, that same smell will have you test positive for GSR.
It lingers for a while.
It lingers for a while and it expands. So if a gun was fired in a double capped pickup truck, there will be GSR on everything.
Yeah.
That's That's the way, that's physics. You in chemistry, you cannot get away from it. These are facts. Nobody can change facts.
So did Jeff believe him now?
Jeff sees this test that has been available for 2 frickin' years.
That no one's looked at.
That no one's looked at and no one has made available to the family. And he says, here.
So no bullet. I mean, nothing shot from his gun.
Exactly.
And no GSR.
And no GSR.
And a daughter's statement.
Mm-hmm.
That's open and shut.
That is absolutely open and shut.
Yeah.
Okay. So he starts letting the family know all the actual information that the police department has.
I'm going to ask a question. I don't know if either of you can answer this. When an investigation is going on, do you know? Like, I think about sometimes if something like this were happening in my family, could I do some type of public records request, or is it because it's an ongoing investigation, I can't access
No.
the information?
You should. Okay, let me give an example.
Okay.
If I'm a domestic violence victim and I made a phone call to 911 and it picked up everything of that domestic violence incident
Okay.
and we're going through trial, I'm not allowed to do a public records request for that 911 call
Why not?
as a victim
Yeah.
because it's not public record, because the investigation is not closed and it could hurt with what the prosecution has.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
But it sounds like in this case, the new sheriff in town said,
It's actually, the thing is you can't FOIA open investigations very well until they're
okay.
closed in whatever capacity they say closed. If it's an ongoing, and if you FOIA them, you get heavy redactions.
Oh,
So
that's
they
the
would-
point. Yeah.
I've seen an email come back, every word but one sentence was blacked
redacted.
out.
Yeah.
Redacted.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's, for a lot of reasons, that's acceptable. But that's assuming, and that's working under the assumption that everybody's doing their job.
Mm-hmm.
In this instance, we're not having people do their job.
Right.
And, I've told you all that I don't bleed blue, but I do bleed blue collar. So cops are involved in that.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
mean, anybody that does a dangerous job that keeps society moving, I really am for you.
Yeah.
But in that, I am against anybody that is screwing it up and making you look bad.
I'm for anybody who does not violate the constitutional rights.
Exactly.
That's it.
And then, see, like my primary job that earns me money is insurance. I could screw up your life and terribly if I don't do my job.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will get fired. I will get fined. I could get arrested.
Everybody's human and everybody makes mistakes.
Right.
But this is a catastrophic.
This is a catastrophic mistake.
With 4 children witnessing, but one coming forward and saying something.
Yeah. The others saw
little.
it. They were involved, but they were so tiny. I mean, if the oldest child is 9, that means the next youngest is probably at the most 7, but I think he was 5. She was 5.
Okay.
So we're not talking about the most eloquent, the most...
I can tell you that my daughter is 4 and autistic. And if she was to tell you something happened, it would be the truth. And detailed.
The truth, but if you have kids who've had a happy life, they don't have the words. Like, they literally do not have the vocabulary at 5 to tell you this horrible thing happened.
Yeah.
And so I can understand why nobody else was involved in this story.
Other than Michaela.
Yeah. Okay, so under new leadership, the police have really gotten cracking on this case. In May of 2018, the death was finally ruled a homicide.
Okay.
3 years.
Yeah, the man that killed Nick killed him because he wasn't driving the way that he wanted him to.
Oh my God. So it was road rage.
It seems that Nick may have showed his gun too.
Oh, okay.
It's possible. I'm not sure how we exactly know that.
Oh.
Maybe how it was laid out by his feet.
Yeah, maybe.
They didn't shoot him, but it was laid out as if.
I mean, even.
But stopping and hitting a tree. I mean, if your gun is under your seat, when you hit a tree, your gun's going to slide forward. Possibly.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And so
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to victim blame, but that,
okay,
never a good sign if you're.
It's never a good sign if you're waving a gun while your kids are in the car. But are you waving your gun because somebody else was waving theirs at you?
Maybe so. Yeah.
And that's what his family tends to believe about him, and that's what his lifestyle kind of shows.
Don't start none, won't be none.
There you go. There you go. Okay, so this douchebag killed another man the next day.
Wow.
Had the responding officers listened to Michaela.
Yes, he probably wouldn't have killed the next man.
Same bullet.
Because this little girl could tell you exactly the vehicle that was being driven.
Mm-hmm.
So she can list it, draw it, tell you what happened, and this mofo walked up to the emergency room. The cop, the responding officer.
Yeah.
Walked up to the emergency room after Nick had been brought in. Because you remember he lived for a day.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so, some idiot shot himself in the head. That was his baseline. And please, if you are a law enforcement officer listening to this, please always investigate every suicide as a homicide. Mm-hmm. For at least, because we never want to believe our family members killed themselves.
Right. Yeah.
Do your due diligence.
Mm-hmm.
Get this done so that you can calm that voice in us.
Yes.
Okay. And then on the 1 in 100 or 1 in 1,000 people who it wasn't a suicide, you've already treated it the right way.
Yeah.
And it can be handled.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know the name of the guy? Okay.
So quiet. He killed another man the next day.
His name is Asshole.
So wait, I do have one question.
Okay.
He killed someone the next day, same county. So the police would have been aware.
Next county next door.
Okay.
But you are right where I am on that.
Okay.
Yeah. So if they had listened to Michaela, it would have been, this guy wouldn't have died. Also, within just a few miles, this Jaquel Cheatham. Killed this guy in a road rage incident with the same gun. Sorry, y'all. Couldn't help that.
God bless. Or cough. Got cough.
Little cough. So, but he will not be serving time for this crime as he himself got murdered at a nightclub.
Okay, well.
3 months later.
Karma's a bitch.
Yeah, karma's a bitch, but.
Yeah, I think God said, nobody's going to do anything about you, but I will.
Yeah. Wow. So.
It took them 3 years.
So he had already died a couple months after this happened before they figured out it was him 3 years later.
I still don't feel...
I don't feel like it's resolved.
Like that's a closure.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's closed.
Look, the widow, the children, they're okay with this. They would have loved to look this man in the eye and tell him what he stole from them.
But that man owned a car the same what car. That child Michaela described.
That was exactly the car.
And same car that killed the person the day after.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
The same weapon that killed the person the next day.
Some crimes are just senseless and just selfish and for no reason.
Yeah.
And that's the worst.
I were a family member of the person that got killed on October 25th, 2015, I would have sued this sheriff's office.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
because had they not decided this was a suicide,
the second man probably would not have been killed. Yep.
Yes. So, in that, Christina, there are things being brought about in Virginia because this is kind of whenever you're on that extreme East Coast, when you're in places that were alive before we became a country, it's very British in their legal system. Very, very British. It's not American. It's not French like here. It's very British.
Do they wear wigs when they're in the courtroom?
I think they have weird names like solicitor instead of DA and stuff like that. So
they probably still use the last British. What is the British term when they're in a trial? When right before they go to, what is the jury verdicts? What is it that they say? There's a common phrase.
I forgot what
I'm not.
They use it on that side still, I think.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it is.
But, it's magistrates and solicitors and, you know, even if they don't wear the wigs, they do everything else. But in this instance, what we're seeing right now that they were trying to do to prevent this from happening again was they were going to put a board together. And I'm not sure if that has cleared legislature yet there, where you have prosecution attorneys, defense attorneys, and law enforcement involved with the forensic specialist to overlook something. So, Christina, what can we do if we have a situation where we know something has happened?
She's got all the answers.
And we know that the actual evidence shows something has happened. And the police officer who has jurisdiction over our crime is not moving forward with it. This, in my opinion, was just lazy. And then the blue wall formed over the lazy and said you can't question him because he's a cop.
My first comment could be taken differently from different parties.
Go for it, baby.
I truly believe, the bill to have an inspector general in each parish was denied.
That's awesome.
It was denied because, and it wasn't forcing a parish. It was giving them their own choice, but it was denied. That bill will be coming back soon, written a little bit differently.
Okay.
And I believe it could have been different if they had oversight. Our system is made to work, but the people in it don't work. Most of the people in it, in those situations, many do.
Yeah.
I'm a law enforcement supporter. I support.
I mean, I have several very close friends, very young men that come to me and see me in almost a maternal or an aunt-like position who are law enforcement.
What's really sad, though, is and disappointing is that there is no accountability and there is no inspector general. There's no accountability. So if your sheriff says that's how it goes, that's how it goes. Because if you don't listen, you're getting fired.
Exactly.
If your coroner says that's what you do, you either become a whistleblower or that's what you do because you're getting fired.
Okay, so if you need to be a whistleblower, what do you do?
There's certain programs for whistleblowers through the Department of Justice. Motion, not plural, to quash is an organization in our state that they are very familiar with the whistleblower program, and they can really help you get into that program if you come forward, or my organization.
Okay, and tell us a little bit about your organization again and how to contact you.
Well, so our Facebook page is Southeast Louisiana Accountability Project. SLAP, SLAP.LA.
I like that.
.LA. Or info@slap.la. A lot of people have actually made Proton emails because they want to be anonymous because they're really not trusting coming forward at first.
Absolutely. Why
which
would
is
you?
Understandable.
Yeah.
If
making sure, feeling us out, that we're not working with the sheriff or someone else.
If Melody and her family were not so squeaky clean, they could not have gotten justice.
I agree.
Right.
Yeah.
It took so
one
much
skeleton
effort.
In the closet, it would have discounted everything.
Had there been one drug arrest, one
DWI,
domestic abuse,
anything.
one
anything.
I
they
wish
wouldn't have gotten
that-
justice, and they still.
Yeah.
Nathan, Melody's dad, had to go to this reporter multiple times to get this started. When she started, Laura French, I don't know anything about you but this story. I love you because of what you brought this family. You brought them the kind of justice that, I mean, every morning Melody woke up, and every morning Michaela woke up.
Yeah.
And Melody was like, did my husband put my children in jeopardy?
Yeah.
Is the reason why I am not a wife this morning?
Yeah.
Was it because something bad happened to him, or because he did something bad?
I mean, if he wanted to kill himself, he just would have went out and killed himself, not left himself with his children while he killed himself.
Speeding down the highway.
He would have left him with Melody.
But we are raised to trust all people in uniform in such a way. I could not imagine carrying that burden for 3 frickin' years.
No, I couldn't either. So, how about some crazy Louisiana laws?
Let's do that.
You want something funny?
Yes.
After that heavy story?
Yeah.
Okay. So I can't look. I hope I didn't do these already. All right. And this is what the little article starts off with. While we Louisianians are known for our commitment to laissez le bon temps rouler, which is let the good times roll.
Laissez le bon temps
I have that
rouler.
tattooed on my wrist.
Oh, nice. We do have some restrictions on the books. Okay. Regarding food, no blood rituals. Ingesting blood or other bodily fluids during a ritual of any kind is prohibited. What if it's not during a
I
ritual?
mean, who's drinking blood?
If it's not during a ritual,
Are
it's
you
okay,
okay?
because boudin
Oh,
can sometimes be
that's true.
bloodshot
You're
sausage.
right. Okay.
So we can have it without a ritual.
Okay. So if you're doing it with a ritual, $25,000 fine
Oh, sha.
or up to 25 years in jail. 25 years
What?
in jail.
For drinking
Well-
blood.
Yeah. Or any other bodily fluids like piss.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, that's.
I mean, that
little-
is nasty. I'm not
That's
saying
a
what.
little
Like,
effed
what?
up,
I
yeah.
like.
Yeah.
No. Dude.
What? I'm going to jail? I have
So
some
you're
hot pee waiting for
saying-
me in the car.
that if you're going to be, let's say,
What?
oral,
Yes.
it can't be a religious experience.
I mean,
you can't have a
okay, wait.
ritual if you're giving a blowjob.
I just said something I was not.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I should say.
No, I mean,
what if you're
yeah.
giving a blowjob?
Yeah.
Is there no limit to what I say?
No, there's no
If
limit.
you're giving
no
a blowjob and I
Yeah.
do not think that. I know this has never happened to me, but it could have happened to someone else.
Of course.
And a guy just pisses in your mouth. You're swallowing the urine, and then you're committing the crime. And then
I
you're.
don't, wait a
But
minute.
if you're giving a blowjob,
I don't think he can pee while you're
and
giving a blowjob.
it's
I mean, I don't know.
happening, and it's happening.
Harold, thank you
like-
for camera switching.
And he
Okay,
finishes. That's still a bodily fluid.
Let's
Yeah.
leave the bodily fluids aside for now.
So
There are limits also on funeral foods, which we had this.
Move on.
We had this in the dumb laws before.
okay.
If you're attending a Louisiana funeral, you're only allowed 3 sandwiches at the wake by law. You know those little
There's little
triangle?
triangle sandwiches.
I've had this on the show before. I could eat 12 of those.
But
Like that's like 4 sandwiches.
but some of
and
your finger sandwich trays is tuna, turkey, Swiss, and
Does-
chicken salad.
does
That's
not matter.
4. And
Does-
then they have muffaladas.
it doesn't matter what
We committed
the
that
flavor.
crime at my grandpa's funeral in
Yeah.
I'm
February.
telling you, every
We had a
funeral
lot
No,
of
like
things
no, like one person cannot eat more than 3 sandwiches. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, I mean like 10 muffaladas. I'll bring them in
Yes.
the bathroom.
yeah,
I'll go eat them in
Okay.
there.
Okay.
I will not turn you in. I'm
No.
just saying.
yeah.
I stress eat. Like a funeral is emotional. You
Yes.
emotional.
Well, you better eat some veggies or some chips or something because more than 3 sandwiches, you're going down.
Yeah.
Too many fingers touch the veggies.
In Jefferson Parish, here's another food one. They also care about what their food eats. Garbage and other food fed to hogs must be cooked beforehand.
What?
Yes.
Who has hogs
Anything-
and metairie?
Okay,
or
I can actually understand that.
Okay.
Is to keep your hog from getting too filled with parasites.
Well,
Yeah, but
I'm glad you're here. I would have not.
Yeah, because I just smoked a whole freaking pig yesterday.
Okay. Did you had a couchon de lait?
Yeah, Mal.
but is a hog different than a pig?
Technically, I
Because
think.
hogs carry
A hog,
disease.
No, pigs carry disease too. Hog is just a grown-up pig that's a boy.
Oh.
Okay. Here's another one. No voodoo. Practicing voodoo within New Orleans city limits is finable, so keep any magic rituals to a minimum while visiting New Orleans.
You have psychics and voodoo spellcasters on every corner
Yes.
in New Orleans.
Yes. A likely leftover law from a time when folks had more sensitive ears. It's illegal to use obscene language while on the telephone in Sulphur, Louisiana.
I can believe it.
I'm going to prison for life if I was in Sulphur.
Girl,
Look.
you've listened to my
My
podcast.
4-year-old would be incarcerated.
Look, Tammy and I are of an age where people didn't cuss
Oh,
as
yes.
strongly
No.
as they do now.
No. You're right.
I have to be so professional in so many situations in my life that I don't curse, to where when I'm not in those professional situations,
Just
like,
let it
it's
fly.
It is triple.
Yes.
I
What it
think
would
that
be.
may be Tammy's
That's
thing.
me.
I am so ADHD that I have to keep a rein on it all the time because I'll forget where I'm at.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Karen Crow,
I
cowbells are banned. Yep.
okay.
Okay. And the last one I have, which if anybody has seen The Water Boy,
Love
have.
it.
they're probably going to laugh at this one. Minors can't go to businesses with coin-operated foosball machines.
What?
That's in Jefferson Parish without being accompanied by an adult.
Foosball?
Foosball. You know the one where the little soccer players spin around on the sticks?
Yeah.
You got to have a parent with you.
I mean, that does get really aggressive. I've been very aggressive in that game.
And see, I don't get that because I was young enough to remember whenever we would go in and play Hot Wheels under the pool tables in bars when we were kids.
I used to go in and buy my grandma's cigarettes and lottery tickets
Mm-hmm.
in 1987, 88, and 89.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even think I sat in a car seat.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Because
Never.
my kid who was born in 1990, his car seat right now would never pass. an
My
inspection.
brother was born in 96, and I don't think his would.
Yeah. Oh, no. It was horrible. It was like this frame
Yeah.
with a seat dropped on it that you strapped in. It
Yeah.
was so stupid.
My daughter, I have child-proof child locks for the car seat straps. So she's a 3 harness car seat, but has 9 harness
Oh, wow.
because she
Okay.
elopes.
Well, Christina, this has been
I
a
hope-
lot
yes.
of fun.
I hope you come back and do it again,
Would you be
Anytime.
willing
And
to
I hope-
stay?
that she will stay and do
Oh,
it.
I'll stay. I have a sitter.
Okay.
I
Well,
never get free.
we can do a Patreon episode after this.
Oh, and this will be the real tea.
Yeah. We're
I can
going to
curse more.
She's going to spill all the tea.
Yeah, because we have actual stories of
Mhm.
actual political figures
That
that
she's gonna
Christina's
tell us
organization has wrapped up, gotten out of the way,
Nice.
We've
so that
turned over
justice
the
could
cases.
happen.
Perfect.
Now we're just waiting on the justice system.
Perfect. Okay. Y'all go to Facebook and join our Grits group, family, friends, and fans. I think, Christina, you recently joined.
I did.
Yes.
Yes, she did.
And if you would like to help support the show, go to Patreon, Patreon/grits, and help us out there. And if you want to hear that bonus content, make sure you become a Patreon member at the appropriate level to get your free episodes every month.
Wonderful.
So excited.
I am so
Exciting.
glad. This was so much
It
fun,
was.
Tammy.
Harold, thank you for
having me.
Yes, thank you for camera switching, Harold. He's smiling a very fake smile right now.
Okay, but Harold is a good husband.
Oh, he's
He's
a
like,
fabulous
hurry
husband.
up.
Yes.
Tammy and I could not have done
No.
better finding our spouse.
I'm
We
looking
couldn't.
for a husband.
We'll find you one.
We'll find your one, and we'll find.
I
you a
just want
good
one that will take all 4 of my kids fishing,
But don't bring his gun with him.
but
Just
not bring us.
don't be
gun.
waving his gun around.
No road rage.
All right. We love y'all. Tell your mom and him to listen, and we're going to let Zydeco Mike take us out.